Alright guys, how you doing? Welcome to another episode of Motivation to Change podcast. And today's guest is probably the definition of change. Um, it, you need to watch the documentary, definitely. Um, Please welcome Anthony Lolli.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Not a problem. And all the way over for the pond, New York City.
That's right, Brooklyn, New York.
Amazing. Somewhere I would love to go. It's on my bucket list.
Yeah. It's New York City is back. It's open now and thriving. They opened up Broadway again, so there's a lot of action going on in New York. There was a while, maybe like 6 months to a year ago, where everything was cheap. Hotels. I mean, you could stay in the best New York City hotel for like $100 a night. Because of COVID and stuff. But now it's back up to market.
Yeah, yeah. No, definitely. Now we'll just have a wee chat about yourself. People might not know who you are, but just before we kind of get into it, a couple of months ago, I was doing what you usually do. You kind of sit on the Netflix or whatever else to see on, and this documentary came up, and I was like, all right, okay, I'll watch the trailer, and I was like, oh my god, the the transformation. And if anybody knows what I'm talking about, it's Fat Wally to Six Pack Wally, and it was an unbelievable change. And I believe it's in Amazon Prime. You can get it.
Yeah, I mean it's a documentary on Amazon Prime. It's also on YouTube. It's on YouTube Movies. It's on Google Play, Apple TV. Became a hit. I mean, it's only been out 14 months and it's been watched 95 million times. It's been nominated 8 times and it won 2 times for Best Documentary. And it's still being nominated in film festivals all over the world. And really, it's a story about my life, where I grew up as an obese kid and I was obese my whole life. And I basically got into business for myself. I became an entrepreneur and became successful at the age of 21. I got into the real estate industry. By 23, I was a multimillionaire and owned a lot of real estate and started a real estate school and did a bunch of things and grew my company from one location to a national franchise, so over 100 locations. But every year I kept getting fatter and fatter and fatter, and as the years went on, I noticed that on my 40th birthday, I had promised myself I would finally be fit at 40, and that never happened. That was actually the fattest I ever was in my life. And it was because of my wife and my children. I decided to make changes for my life. Everybody was trying their hardest for years, taking me to the gym. But it wasn't until I had my kids and my wife was instrumental in getting my daughter to say, Daddy, you're fat. I don't want you to die. And that's really what pushed me, because I wasn't going to do it for myself. And I didn't want to be a burden to my children. I didn't want to be the dad that was constantly in the hospital, ruining the beautiful days that my children have to go out and play because they want to visit me in the hospital, or I'm a sickly person. And so I made this a radical decision in my mind to actually start working out and do the same principles that I did in business, but applied it to my body. And consequently, I recorded every single day of that journey and turned it into a wonderful documentary that's now not only inspired and saved lives and changed lives all over the world, but it helped me launch this wonderful business that I have. It's called Radical Body Transformations. And now we're like the number one online transformation company in the world. So it's just, I just threw my business hat on and took a personal situation and made it public and turned it into a thriving business.
That's amazing. As it's such an accomplishment as well. And I'll even put up what they know what you used to look like, um, and then what you look like now, and the difference is it's incredible. Now, before we kind of go into when you actually started doing your training and stuff like that, did you do any workouts or did you do any fitness prior to when you made that
Well,
choice?
I was, as like they call, fat athletic. I would always go to the gym. I would always box. I would always lift heavy weights. I have a couple buddies that would take me to the gym. One in particular would take me all the time, and I would work out with him. But it was never consistent. It was like 2 weeks of trying it, and then getting busy with work or one excuse after the other, and so I kind of lost interest. And I think it was because I didn't really have a plan. It was just doing the motions. So once I recognized, just like a construction project, if you have a blueprint, you follow the blueprint, which is nutrition, and then you have an actual workout routine, and then you actually have measurable milestones and goals that you can see, then you're going to actually stick to it, because I'm a business person, so I want to see progress. So
Yeah.
once I noticed that I needed to apply those same principles to my fitness, where I needed to hire the right help and get the right guidance. I mean, listen, if you want to become a doctor, you're going to go to college and go to school, medical school, to learn the tricks of the trade and to get licensed and certified. So, you're basically operating on your own body, just using weights and nutrition. So I needed to learn about all of these things. And so I went out and hired a nutritionist and hired a trainer. And not only that, I tried everything from CrossFit to bodybuilding to mixed martial arts to different styles of bodybuilding and hit workouts and cardio and running. And I tried everything and figured out what works for me and stuck to it.
Great. And when you made the decision to, you had a goal. Now, when people are they've put on too much weight and stuff, and they do really go and I want to lose weight. Sometimes it is like a slow process. It takes a wee while. They're doing really well, but it takes a wee while. Was your goal just to kind of lose weight, or did you have the goal right from the offset of that you wanted to really change your body?
Well, that was it. The word transformation I had never heard of before. And once I heard the word transformation and I started looking at the hashtag, body transformations or complete transformations, or just the word transformation, I noticed that there were other people out there completely transforming their bodies. And that's what I wanted. So it's kind of like, if you're going to renovate your kitchen, you might as well get a really nice kitchen. Same thing. You're going to renovate your bathroom or your home, and you're in construction anyway, you might as well do it. So I decided that I wanted to I decided that that's what I wanted to do, and I went all out doing it.
Amazing. And I know it was about 9 months you started from when you started
It took
working
me
out.
exactly 9 months. And then I did a skin surgery. So I lost 125 pounds. In total, I lost 150 pounds when I hit the stage, but I lost 125 pounds. And then I noticed I had loose skin, and then I had to get a loose skin surgery. So I went ahead and did that, which typically you're supposed to take several months to recover. But 30 days later, I was back in the gym, back at it. And then I had made a decision at that point that since I did the skin surgery, I was going to go and become a competitor and show my body off to the world on stage.
Amazing. And when you went for the surgery, um, did at any point you have like fear that we having the surgery and stuff like that, and like you
Yeah,
maybe
I mean, of course, any type of surgery, when you're under anesthesia, and this was a 7-hour surgery, there's always a risk of infection or even death, right? Because you're putting your body through something major. And so I kind of said my goodbyes to my family, just in case. So it was a bittersweet moment, because we didn't know which way it was going to go, and I was hoping that my genetics were going to pull through, and obviously they did. But you just never know. You just never know what happens when you're under the knife and under anesthesia. Anything could happen.
yeah. And when all this was happening, were you still doing like your business and stuff, or was this
Well, I
just
had sold my company. I was kind of semi-retired, so I mainly stopped and said no to a lot of deals and potential business, because I didn't want to distract myself with that. It was very tempting. So I had to give up a lot of business opportunities that came my way, because I wanted to put my health and fitness first. And consequently, by doing that, I ended up making more tenfold because now I'm a much healthier CEO and stronger.
Yeah, and I think stronger would be the best word as well over the last couple of years. But yes, so going through the operation and stuff, and then on like the documentary as well, you said that you started working out harder and you started pushing yourself a wee bit more. Then it got to the point that you wanted to go on stage. Um, did you have that idea like after the surgery, or was that always in your mind? What
No,
was
it
it?
was after the surgery because it's like, what else is next? Like where, who, I did this thing and I'm like, you know what? I'm not just going to show it off at the beach. I might as well inspire people around the world to do what I did. After I did the surgery, I knew that I had a complete transformation. It was done. That was the nail in the coffin. And I might as well just take advantage of the opportunity to inspire other people and show them that you can erase the damages that you've done, even if you've been obese all your life, like myself. And there are ways out of this that you can cure obesity, and not only cure obesity psychologically, but physically.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, and I think as well, especially in this day and age, there's a lot of struggle with, like, especially with technology and on the telly, and people just at home and stuff like that. It's quite difficult to kind of go to the gym and stuff like that, and really, because you said in the past that you'd done it a couple of weeks and that, but then you actually started.
I
What?
tried 9 times. 9 times is however many times I tried was nine. And I looking back, it wasn't really an attempt. It was just going through the motions half-heartedly, never really, understood what I was doing. I was just doing it.
Yeah, and with that being said, what would be the main advice if someone was watching this right now and they were trying to get the motivation to go to the gym and stuff? What would be the main advice that you would give someone?
You have to hire a coach. That's why I started a coaching business, because without a coach, you're just trying to lead and inspire yourself. It's not going to work. It's kind of like if you wake up one day and you want to be a lawyer, but you know nothing about law and you didn't even go to law school. And then you throw yourself in the courtroom. I mean, how do you think you're going to do? And you're going to quit because you're going to lose. Same thing. You want to wake up and you want to all of a sudden be a fitness guru and go into the gym, and you're not taking instructions from anybody or just Googling stuff. No one's on your side. The greatest athletes, the greatest successful people in the world have somebody coaching and mentoring them. There was an Arnold Classic that just passed over the weekend. All those champions on stage, the ones that won and the ones that didn't win, all of them had coaches. So there isn't a person in the world that doesn't have a team or somebody telling them or teaching them or giving them guidance. Even an undefeated boxing champion has the coach in the corner. So without a coach and someone guiding you, you're going to fail. And if you're not smart enough to recognize that you don't have the information, then you're just not going to do it. It's just going to be worse.
Yeah, yeah, that's really good advice, and it's something that when I started doing this, I started doing a bit of my own coaching as well. And when I was trying to get a bit of my own advice and stuff and speak to other coaches, they kind of said that even the best people have coaches. Like Tony Robbins, he's like one of the best coaches in the world, but he's got a coach, and it does really make you think on not just like that, but any other level that like the best in the world do have coaches as well. And so, how long ago was it you done your first competition?
I did it in the documentary, was my first one. So that was December of 2019. And then I was supposed to compete right after that 6 times, but COVID happened and put everything on hold. So I just finished coming off of 6 competitions where I won so many different divisions, including now I'm a WBFF pro. I'm a muscle model pro. I have my pro card now. I competed outside of the transformation category alongside with veteran bodybuilders. I competed not only for the WBFF, but I competed at Pure Elite, where I won 5 medals there. Did a couples competition. I did fitness model, fashion model, international model, men's physique, and transformation. And I won all of those categories. And then I did an NPC where I competed with 150 guys, all 30 and 40 years old and older, guys with 20 years of bodybuilding under their belt. Some of them are personal trainers and instructors. And I placed fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and ninth against 150 guys that have been training all their life. So here I am, coming out of nowhere, was 315 pounds. And now I'm competing on stage and winning and beating guys that have been doing this for 20 years.
Yeah, it's really inspirational as well, and just it must have really took so much. Like just talking about it, it just feels as if it's really impressive, but it's aye. But I think like doing it, it must have been really really hard.
It's been an amazing journey because it hasn't stopped. You know, all I've done is kept improving my physique, kept improving my knowledge, and then sharing it with the world. And now I'm doing challenges where I'm offering $100,000 worth of prizes, inspiring and curing diabetes, people that have had cancer survivors losing weight, people that have been divorced, drug addiction, you name it. We've been helping people all over the world and awarding them and giving them recognition and prizes for their weight loss. And we've assembled a lot of coaches within my organization that not only are coaching people, but also are former transformation people, people that have been skinny and put on muscle, or people that have been obese and lost the weight and now became coaches within our organization. So it's just gratifying on another level, because obesity is in the top 2 of the killer of humanity is obesity. When you look at the statistics, even the World Health Organization talks about obesity. And so, you know, the daily death toll is insane compared to a lot of other things. And this is something that can be prevented.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I think we, what companies that you've got and people like yourself, could do a massive improvement, to help other people. So even if this one person hears something like this, then that might change their life. And it's amazing. And not only have you changed your own life and obviously your families, but you're also, it's like giving back as well. You've put in the work in for yourself, but you're giving back and helping other people. And it's amazing.
Thank you.
And so, just a couple of wee things just to kind of finish it off. So I know you're quite a busy guy. Um, how how did everything go with life over the last year? Because obviously you did mention that competitions and that get cancelled because of COVID and stuff like that. How is it like over in what New York and America?
Well, you know, I had access to gyms, underground gyms, because of my relationships in my previous life as a very successful businessman. I had access to gyms, but then I put a gym in my own home in the basement, and I started training my wife. And we have a part 2 to the documentary that's was being filmed. We're editing it now. It's going to be a docu series, 12 episodes showing what happened after the documentary and how I started training my wife. And now she's won her pro card for the WBFF the first time she got on stage, and she won her pro card again for a different federation called Pure Elite in Europe. She won her pro card in bikini. She also competed in MPC and OCB and placed very high in top 10. So that's something that's never really been done before by an amateur. And through my guidance and coaching and through nutrition that the company provides, she was able to accomplish that. And she, while I was getting fit, she was becoming frail because she gave 2 natural childbirths to our children, Love and Legend. And she got a diastasis recti, which is a very common problem that women get with their abs. Their ab opens up after giving birth, and sometimes it's irreparable. So The doctors basically told her not to pick up our kids anymore. It was too heavy. And I said, I'm going to train away this pain. I'm going to fix this, and you're going to accomplish everything that you ever wanted to do. And we did exactly that.
Amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
And I think probably the big question now is being a successful business owner, getting into fitness, conquering your own weight, and then doing more. The big question is what's next? What's the future hold for you?
Well, right now we are signed models. We're fitness models. We're signed to an agency, so we do a lot of modeling. We're also social media influencers. We have a clothing line, Radical Body Transformations, a website, rbtshow.com and rbtmarket.com. Obviously, we're growing our brand, Radical Body Transformations. We have the docuseries, and we also have an ongoing television show alongside with my partner, James Hergott and Carlos, both of them who you saw in the documentary. We have this company, RBT, Radical Body Transformation. So we're growing that brand, helping more people, thousands of people around the world, taking on more coaching and more coaches. I'm on my off season right now. My wife is on her off season. So we're going to hit the stage 2022. I'm going to compete as a pro now. She's going to compete as a pro. We're also signed to another talent agency where we have a couple of television concepts that people are bidding on. So they're all in the fitness space. So we have all that kind of stuff. And then our daughter is 5 years old now. She's a child actor. So a matter of fact, she's on a Zoom call right now with the director. It's possible that she gets signed for an HBO series. So we have our hands full.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's
Yeah.
and I'll be looking forward to the series that'll be coming out. It'll be a really good watch as well. Now I've got two final questions. One is I've asked all the other guests, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. It's a kind of game, yeah. So I ask everybody if you had to sit in a restaurant with three people, um, who would the three people be? So it can be they could be alive or passed away. They could be celebrities. It could be anyone you want. Where would the restaurant be, and what would you be eating?
The restaurant would be Fogo de Chao because it's a Brazilian steakhouse and they bring in a lot of meat. I like meat and protein. So that, and it's constantly they bring it around. You put like a green for go and red for stop. You flip it over and they constantly bring an assortment of meat to the table. So it would be that restaurant. And to be honest with you, I think the three people be my dad because he passed away, so he's not alive, and probably my kids. I'd want him to meet my kids, like everybody else that you could think of in terms of like an entrepreneur or some sort of inspirational character. I have access to either because of who I am or because of the tool that's in my hand, which is YouTube, Google, books. All of these people, if you really research, you can get in their brain because they've written books. They've talked on video, on social media. So you have the ability. It's just how you take in the information. So, the world's greatest leaders have written books. Presidents have written books. So, if you take the time to read, you won't even want to sit down because they already sat down and probably don't even remember what they put in the book at this point, So for me, it's more on a personal level. I would just have my dad meet my kids and that would be it, and tell my dad, look, I made it,
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely, definitely. And since you kind of mentioned on it, like who was, like, especially doing this, who did you look up to, or could you name someone that was really inspirational on?
Well, my wife, my mom, my kids, my family, my best friend and partner, Carlos, everybody was instrumental in helping me achieve these goals. Even my staff, from secretaries, everybody that is on my team, um, was aligned with the goals. So the first year that I did my transformation, I stayed away from social media, and I changed all of my friendships. I started hanging out with only fit people, and anybody that I associated with before, if they weren't into fitness and health, then I wasn't hanging out with them. So it was that level of commitment that I needed to make and change my circle.
Yeah, definitely. And even on the documentary and just what you've been saying as well, family means a hell of a lot to you, um, especially to make all those commitments. And definitely as well, I think your dad would be really proud of you, just with everything that you have done. Now, before we leave, with everything that we've kind of spoke about, what would be the main piece of advice if you had one kind of advice that you haven't really maybe touched on?
If someone wants to lose weight, they want advice, they can call me. I have the ability to do it. I did it. I have the blueprint. Look no further. That was the point of the documentary. There isn't a magic pill, and the secret sauce, I have it. So if you want it, reach out, go to the website rbtshow.com, and I'll put you in touch with the right people and get you on the right program, and you'll change your life indefinitely. If you're like me, where you don't want to listen to somebody that was already fit and stayed fit and has a six pack, they were never obese, you only want to listen to somebody that's been in your shoes, well, here you have it. Finally, you have somebody that's been there, and you have to look no further. And if you're watching this, it's because you're searching for answers. So seek and you shall find, and you found it.
Amazing. And where can apart from that, where else can people find you?
I'm big on social media. So Anthony Lolli, or rbtshow.com. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on YouTube. I have a great YouTube channel that's thriving and growing in viewership and subscriber base. So I'm anywhere you can find me. You can Google me and you'll find me.
Definitely. Anthony, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you
Thank
on.
you. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you very much for giving me your time. And I was going to say in your afternoon, it's my evening tonight. So, but yeah, I want to say thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It was great. Awesome. And let me know when you want to do it again.
Definitely.
All
Well,
right. Take care.
guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Stay tuned for next week as we have another awesome video coming up. And yeah, Anthony was a cracking guy. Just so inspirational, just what he's said as well. But yeah, so over and take care. And thanks for watching Motivation to Change podcast. Take care, guys.